you enjoyed that networking, and we're getting ready to go to our next bit, which is going to be, let's see here. Let's see if I can keep up with my slideshow. Okay, so I want to remind you to put the information into the chat. You can see I've kind of highlighted that down below. And please put in your name, your company, your phone number, your email, and your location. And at the end of the meeting, you can go download that chat and have the contact information for everybody that you met tonight. And next, I always like to pay homage to our memory of Jean Guarino. Jean was instrumental in the founding of the RAL Academy, RAL National Association, and introduced thousands of people to the model of the residential style assisted living. His motto was do good and do well. And Gene got me involved in this, and we sure do miss him. I want to remind you to visit our website. That's dollar.com. It's kind of funny how that acronym spells out. DAALR, we pronounce it dollar. And you want to make sure you go there. And if you are in Colorado, please click on helpful links, because on that page, you have the top two links there, and that's for Chapter 7 and the Chapter 2. These are the rules and regulations of assisted living in Colorado. You need to know these like the back of your hand. And you really need to stay up on them because they change. I got caught this year when there was a regulation change that I hadn't noticed, and somebody brought it to my attention. It's like, wow, okay, now I got to go back and reread it. It's only like 67 pages for Chapter 7. In Chapter 2, I don't know how many it is. But if you're an operator in Colorado, you need to have this information drilled into your head and almost memorized. And I hope you join our Facebook page, Denver ALR, for social networking. And thanks for signing up with Meetup, because that helps us get the word out to you. We have gotten over 1,000 members. I think we're, oh gosh, that was from 2 months ago. So we've added a few members since then, but we appreciate that. And if you're asked for feedback on the meeting, please give us a 5-star review. That just helps reinforce what we're doing. If not, I appreciate honest feedback too. So you can certainly, just tell us what you think of our meeting. We always appreciate that. And now I want to go into our sponsors, and we've got quite a few people that support what we're doing here. I will start with Hall Ryan Construction, with 35 years of combined construction experience. The exceptional team at Hall Ryan Construction has transformed residential and commercial properties by bringing a high-touch, customer-centric approach to every engagement. On the insurance side, Hall Ryan's reconstruction and roofing expertise is a skill that many insurance companies actively seek out. Their reliance on Hall Ryan's experience in helping them write estimates has made Hall Ryan a well-respected, trusted expert in the field. And next we have Brett Chuckevis with Palm University. And Brett's put together a really nice program for a high-end 16-bed model. Also on his website is a great collection of training videos, mostly geared to the experienced operator. Navigate to palm.university to get more information. And next we have the Residential RAL National Association. The Residential Assisted Living National Association represents the interests of small assisted living providers. Their mission is to help small assisted living homes get the resources they need and give them a voice at the national level, and improve the quality of service delivery throughout the industry. With a national industry professional base, RALNA offers robust benefits to investors, owners, managers, and caregivers alike. And you can go to ralna.com to get information about that. And next we have the Residential Assisted Living Academy, of which Isabelle is going to be talking about tonight. If you're new to assisted living, I highly recommend going through this course. This is basic training for running an assisted living. And you can go to the link on our site there, which is RALacademy. Well, that will just take you right there. And next we have assisted living marketing. With more than a decade of experience, they have customized services that work for small, large, and multi-location communities. Assisted living marketing is your trusted partner for digital and print marketing in the assisted living industry. I'm going to take a quick pause here, if you don't mind, because I forgot to start my Facebook and my recording. So usually I try to do all this right before the last one, and I forgot because I was talking. Okay, now I'll move on. And next we have the Senior Care Administrator Coaching, and this is Janet Cornell. Janet provides consulting for your assisted living home. She can also provide the 40-hour administrative training, staff training, and employee file compliance and compliant documents. She also does basically a mock survey, so you can hire her to come to your facility and go through it and basically tell you what the state would write you up on. And it's always good to do something like that before the state shows up and actually writes you up. It can save you thousands of dollars. So you can go to scac-janet.com to reach her website and contact her. And next we have the Investment Community of the Rockies, ICOR. And ICOR is Colorado's only nationally recognized and award-winning real estate investors association, serving Denver Metro, Colorado Springs, Fort Collins, and Northern Colorado, as well as real estate and rental property investors across the state. If you're an investor, this is a great community to be a part of. I've been with them since 2014. And next we have not only Colorado's assisted living lawyers, but they are available for anybody across the nation as assisted living lawyers. We use them all the time. Michelle and Brian Pinkowski, they help developers and operators of assisted living and group homes locate and establish their facilities so they can focus on the business of caring for people. They act as your advocate and work with local council and encourage compliance with the Fair Housing Act provisions. And that is pinkowskilaw.com. And next, one of my favorite is A Better Way Funding. And that's one of the groups that I'm with. We do lease options for group homes. For information on how this project or program works, you can go to ralleaseoptions.com. I'll also put that into the chat. And last, we have Grand Avenue Business Brokers. This is my company at A Better Way Realty, where I hang my license. Over 30 years of business experience, over 80 assisted living transactions, and over $145 million in transactions. I am a certified business intermediary. I'm also now a certified senior housing investment professional, specializing in assisted living. Had quite a bit of activity lately. Tomorrow, we're closing on a 16-bed private pay in North Metro. This year, we closed 12 beds northwest of Denver, 118 beds we just did in Scottsdale, 8 beds in South Denver Metro, 12 in the South Denver Metro, 56 in Southeast Denver Metro, 46 in Northwest Denver, 8 beds on the Western Slope. There's currently out there a 12-bed mental illness in the North Denver Metro. Also in the Colorado Springs, we've got a 15-bed. It's a combination of MI and AL because it is a 2-story building, and a 48-bed private pay assisted living. That's 3 16 beds, and a 22-bed assisted living, and all those are in the Springs. And then we've got a nice package on the Eastern Plains, 89 beds total, and those 89 beds are 66% of the market in a 6,000 square mile area. So you can almost rule the market there. If you need any help buying or selling, please contact me. There's my number, 303-888-0078, and I will put that in the chat as well. Usually we have somebody from the Colorado Assisted Living Association with us tonight. I don't see any members. We always like to get an update from them, but you can look them up. If you own a facility, then I would recommend that you join their organization. They do a lot of legislation work, so they're pretty strong in supporting everybody through the government. So go ahead and look at the Colorado Assisted Living Association. And next, I want to introduce to you Isabelle Guarino. Isabelle's a two-time best-selling author, named one of the top influencers in senior housing. She's been featured on Bigger Pockets, the Wealthy Way podcast, and Sales Disruptors. She's the COO of Residential Assisted Living Academy, sharing the message of doing good and doing well, like her dad, with hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs and investors across the country. Twice she's been named the future leader of assisted living, and she is the nation's top coach and trainer for all things RAL. Let's welcome Isabelle Guarino.
Let me see. Well, let me share my screen. I think so. Okay. There we go. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. I know I was on probably like over a year ago now, Vern, with this group. So if you were here last time that I was here, let me know in the chat because I want to see who's hearing me for the first time or we're meeting for the first time. Some of you I know are already students of ours. So I'm excited to kind of see who's here. And if you know me, I want to say hello. So today we're going to be talking all about residential assisted living 101 and how to create that business plan for you. And at the end, I'm going to give you a great discount on our 3-day training. So if you want to take those next steps and really learn the nitty-gritty, the step-by-step blueprint of how to do this, we'll make that available. The upcoming next 2 dates is December 5th through 8th and January 16th through 19th. So screenshot this, jot these down, because if you are, while we're going through this, if it's starting to tick in your mind that, okay, I need to do this. This is the next step. I want you to be able to check that calendar and see which date works for you. So jot these 2 down and I'm going to jump into it. You guys already know because you're here. Some of you are owner operators and some of you are just getting started in this, but this question may be rhetorical for some of you. Why is right now the best timing for senior housing? I really feel that this is the best timing. We've evaluated every investment that you can do, and we've landed on residential assisted living because of timing. The baby boomers have been driving our economy for the last 70 plus years, and this is your chance to take advantage of the trends that they create, the silver tsunami. The world looked very different in 1960 than it's projected to look in 2060. That 85 plus demographic is the fastest growing demographic on planet Earth today, right? The seniors are coming and we cannot stop it. But what we're talking about with residential assisted living is disrupting the senior housing industry. Kind of like what Uber did to taxi or Airbnbs did to hotels. We're saying no more are big, commercial facilities the only options for seniors. There's something else, there's something different, and you'll probably like it a whole lot more. Currently, the silent generation lives in assisted living, about 47 million people in that generation. But the baby boomers, that's who's coming into the market. There's 76 million in that generation. That big green wall, that's World War II, right? And people had babies and then more babies and more babies. And now we have the largest generation we've ever seen right there. But it keeps going on after that. Timing has never been better. The demand is there. The availability is not. We are currently 1.3 million beds short. And Vern sharing, what he's adding to the market. Everyone, I'm like, yeah, good. Because we need that. We desperately need more beds in this industry. There are not enough. So what's going to change this year? This is a funny question to ask because obviously politically we're going to have a lot potentially that may be changing soon, in your local markets or in our national market. But I think we drive ourselves crazy when we ask this question, when we bang our heads against the wall wondering what's going to change, what's going to happen. I like to focus on the opposite end of the spectrum. What's not going to change? Because seniors aging and needing care, needing assistance, That's never going to go away. If you lost your job tomorrow, but your dad needed care and assistance, you can't say, hang on, dad, just hold tight for a couple more years while I figure this out. No, this is what he needs. He needs it now, right? Raise your hand if you're getting older or know someone who is. We're all aging and we can't stop that. And so it's important for us to talk about security. We want to be investing in something that's secure, and nothing is completely secure, but I can pretty much bet that people are going to need assistance towards the end of their life. And right now, people are worried. They are worried about paying their bills, losing control. They're worried about inflation, and the dollar is so much less powerful. People are worried about future opportunities. They're saying, if this is what I'm dealing with, then what am I leaving for my kids? Or not making a difference in the world. Some of you have the income that you want, and that's not what this is about for you. You don't have any purpose in your life. Some of you, it's about your parents and who's going to take care of them. For us, our journey began with a phone call. My grandmother fell and she broke her hip, and the doctor said she cannot go home alone. She needs 24/7 help and care and ADLs and all of this stuff. And in that moment, my family had no experience with assisted living, just like many people don't until it hits them in the face. And in that moment, when we get that call, it's like boom, it happens so fast. And all of a sudden, you have to make these decisions. Is someone going to quit their job and take care of mom or dad full time? Are you going to get in-home care, which is insanely expensive? We'll go through the numbers in a moment. Or are you going to put them into a home? And as soon as you say it, you get the pit in your stomach. You're like, oh, I promised I wouldn't. I said I'd never. And that's the exact scenario we found ourselves in with my grandmother, Marie. She was grandmother to 20 of us grandkids, mother to 7, cared for her husband until his last days, her own mother till her last days. She deserved the best of the best. Every single facility we walked into smelled worse than the next. The food was terrible. The care was terrible. I didn't want to leave my goldfish, let alone my grandmother, in these homes. It was not acceptable. So we vowed to find something better for her. And as Vern shared earlier, I got started in this industry because of my father. He realized in that moment, I guarantee you're going to get involved in senior housing one way or another. Either you're going to be lying in the bed or writing the check for someone who is, or you could be owning and operating the real estate, having a place to go if you need assistance, and cash flowing all the while. This industry makes so much sense to invest in because it's inevitable to all of us. Today, I'm going to share with you those 5 keys to success so that you can start creating your business plan of how you're going to get involved in this industry. But I also want to share with you how to become a preferred real estate provider. This is kind of the angle that Vern does with his company, A Better Way Funding. And I love this. This is a great way to get involved. Who am I and why should you listen to me? I'm the COO of Residential Assisted Living Academy. I've been working hard over the last 10 years with this company. I was named Future Leader by Senior Housing News, top senior housing influencer. I've written 2 books on this topic, and I host a podcast called Assisted Living Network. I love sharing with people all about this industry. I genuinely believe I learned from the best of the best. My father, he was my mentor, my best friend, and just a real legend in this industry, known as the godfather of residential assisted living. But, all of these things that he'd done, been featured in magazines, newspapers, TV shows, what meant the most to me was when Robert Kiyosaki pointed at him from across the room and said, hey, that's the assisted living guy. And they became great friends. And Robert's ex-wife, Kim, was at our assisted living conference just a couple, I guess it's now a month ago almost. And she was sharing, how they're involved in this industry and what they're doing. Because when Robert met my dad, he was just getting started with that. They invested over $100 million in a big box in Scottsdale, and it's doing really well, but he had no idea what he was getting into, but he saw the trends, he saw the opportunity, and he jumped in and then ran to my dad to say, teach me what you know. We all know Robert as the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the little purple book all about getting out of the rat race. And that is a great way to do this. He is a lot more about the money side of this. We like to focus on the do good and do well, not just the money. But this is a great way. Real estate is an amazing opportunity to get out of that rat race. And Robert may have invested $100 million, but You don't have to, right? Rest assured, you don't have to. How much do you actually need to cover your monthly personal expenses? If you think about it, the house, the car, the kids, the food, the fun, all in, if you had this dollar amount coming in every single month, you could spend time with who you want, donate to what you want, live where you want, drive what you want, whatever that is. We talk to people all across the country. I know most of you here tonight are in Colorado and your expenses are quite high out there, but nationally, the number one response I get is about $10,000 a month. If you need 2 times this, if you need 3 times this, that's a-okay. We're talking 1, 2, or 3 properties to get you to your freedom number, to get you to that life that you desire. Real estate investing can get you to freedom. Residential assisted living investing can get you there too. But why would you want to do this? I'll tell you why we did it. I saw the trends. We saw the unstoppable silver tsunami of seniors. This is coming and you can't stop it. Timing has never been better. It's a 20-year wave starting right now. And the people who get involved now are going to be the big players in 20 years, right? You're going to get involved one way or another, but you have a choice right now, and we can help you do good and do well. Meg the Stallion went to Texas Southern University to learn how to open an assisted living facility. Why is a rapper getting involved in senior housing? That seems weird. Maybe she sees the writing on the wall. Tyler Perry launched a TV show called Assisted Living. He's bringing it to mainstream media. He understands this is going to be a topic in the American household, and he wants to be a part of that conversation. Lamar Odom opened a care home for his grandmother. Jimmy Buffett opened Margaritaville themed retirement communities. We've got all sorts of people getting involved, and maybe you will be next. Obviously, there's lots of options for real estate investing. And if you're already an investor in real estate, maybe you're doing fix and flip, right? This isn't cash flow, it's cash now. You buy a home, you fix it up, and you sell it. You make that money one time, but as soon as you sell it, you're out of the job. You've got to go get another one and do it again, and another one and do it again. And that sure looks like the rat race to me, right? It's cash now, not cash flow. If you're okay going 3 to 5 months with no paycheck, that's okay. High risk, high reward, right? Rental homes. Maybe some of you are in the rental game, single family rentals. You could be making a couple $100 off one door. You're going to need a lot of doors to get to your freedom number. And each door comes with tenants, toilets, potentially unpaid rent, and drama, right? The roof goes out, the floor needs repair, whatever it is. That could cost you the whole year's profit, if not more. Group homes. I know some of you are in that industry as well, right? Clean and sober, developmentally disabled adults, whatever it may be. You could be making $1,000 a month or more and serving a population that desperately needs you. If that's what your heart calls to, I highly encourage you to go that direction. Airbnbs, listen, I love to stay in them, but I do not think that they are a safe investment. You've got companies like Marriott coming in, buying up entire neighborhoods, turning them into Airbnbs. Probably not the safest bet because, a consumer, if they're staying in that one, they get their Marriott Bonvoy perks. And what do you have to offer? Owning and operating an RAL, cash flowing $10,000 a month. If you had one single family home and you had to decide what to do with it, if you're in that place right now where you're at this meeting, considering this as an option, this makes the most sense, but that's for me. It's about you. Proverbs says, he who doesn't look ahead remains behind. And if you're not religious, Wayne Gretzky says, I like to skate where the puck is going, not where it has been. This could be one of the biggest crises that our country and our world ever faces. But when I see crisis, I look for opportunity. If we fix the crisis, this becomes one of the biggest opportunities that's ever landed in our lap. I mean, in 2008, if you were handed a crystal ball, might you have played differently? Maybe. The cost of in-home care is $33 an hour. So if you've been thinking, well, this is great and I'll open one for somebody else, but I want to stay at home. Okay, great. $33 an hour on average. If you need 24-hour a day care, 30 days a month, that's $23,000 a month. Plus your mortgage or lease, plus, food, utilities, medication, whatever. In-home care is very unaffordable for many people. Now, you may be thinking, oh, well, I don't need 24/7 care. I just need someone to, watch my loved one while I go to work 9 to 5, and I'll take nights and weekends. Well, say goodbye coming to dollar events, say goodbye going to book club, wine club, church, golf, whatever it is that you like to do. Adios. When a senior needs care, they need it and they need it now. The average cost of assisted living in our country today is $5,350 per month per person. Now, again, these are both average numbers of the entire country. It's we'll go through Colorado's in a moment. But what is residential assisted living? It's simply a group home for seniors that is providing them help with their ADLs, their activities of daily living. We're not talking about a Brookdale, a Sunrise, an Atrium, a large commercial facility with long hallways and impersonal staff where your loved one is just a number. It's not what we do. We're also not talking about Golden Girls, right? Independent living, where they need minor help with landscaping or changing a light bulb. That's not what this is either. Those 55 plus communities are amazing and they're beautiful, but the granny who's living in our care homes, she hasn't played pickleball in 20 years. The ladies and gentlemen who are living here, that's what they're moving in for, the fun and the activities. In these homes, they're residential homes in residential settings. These are some photos of my homes in Arizona here. And they're beautiful homes, right? They're single level. Typically, if you do multi-level, you need to add in a chairlift, you need to add in an elevator, but they're upscale homes in nice parts of town. When you go inside the homes, they're smooth, clean floors. The furniture is age appropriate. In the bedrooms, there's beds, dressers, nightstands, and tables, just like you or I may have in our homes. The bathrooms are senior safe, right? Ramps, guardrails, handrails, all of these things to make the seniors feel appreciated and loved. I love to share this photo because for those of you who do have loved ones who are in larger facilities, you've probably never seen a scene like this, where the caregiver is sitting and enjoying the celebration with the residents. And it's not because those caregivers don't care and ours magically do. It's because in a large facility, what you're typically finding is that the ratios are 30 seniors to one caregiver. That should be illegal. If it was kids, it would be illegal, right? But our country doesn't care much about seniors if we're going to face the facts. In our homes, we recommend you do a 4-to-1 or 5-to-1 ratio. This allows the seniors to get that quality care and attention that they need, and it allows the caregivers to actually do the job that they signed up for. If you're getting paid the same, but you have to take care of 5 people or 30, I mean, you tell me. This caregiver doesn't seem very happy. This one is loving their life. So it's a very different experience that you are providing. And if you're worried about staffing, if you're saying, hey, real estate, I've got that, but staffing, we'll go through that in a moment because you can handle it. What is the perk at the end of the day? You have these seniors who you're able to celebrate and give them, the blessings for their last golden years of life, giving them that quality care, attention, and love that they so deserve. Our company motto is to do good and do well, because the reality is if you just want to get into this industry to make money, go do something else. There's so many ways that you can make money, especially in real estate. This needs to be something that's coming from your heart, because I've never met another landlord who's getting checks for $6,000 wrapped in a love letter until I entered this space. And now we have students all across the country who are getting their monthly checks from their residents' families wrapped in gratitude, wrapped in appreciation, saying, thank you for loving my dad. Thank you for caring for my mom. Thank you for allowing me to be a daughter or son once again. You got to feel good about that. But what do you really want? Do you want to be, feeling good about your investments and proud of the work that you do? Do you want to have enough income to live the life you've dreamed of? Stop settling, stop working overtime for not enough pay, or maybe it is about that legacy passing on to the next generation. When my dad started this industry and then passed his care homes to me, I'm so excited to one day be able to give my son 3 cash flowing businesses that he doesn't have to work a day in his life if he doesn't want to. That's the blessings going on. And that's how you can build that generational wealth. The facts and statistics are there's 76 million baby boomers and 10,000 people a day are turning 65. 4,000 people a day are turning 85. But 90% of seniors, they want to stay in their own home, yet 70% will need daily care for an average of 3.5 years. The facts and statistics are that even if they don't want to go, most of them are going to have to. They're going to need this. Now, there are a lot of myths and misconceptions about this industry, like you have to work in the home yourself. This is not true. You know, in our, my 3 homes, I'm down to 5 hours a week on those homes. I visit them once a quarter. Now, it was not that way in the beginning, right? It's a lot more work in the beginning, getting up and running, getting those systems set up. But you can work yourself out of it so that you are not working in the home. And we show you how to set it up from day one to be working yourself out of it so that you are not having to do that. Doesn't mean that no one has to work in the home. You still need that licensed administrator who's doing all that day to day and the caregivers who are doing the 24/7 care. But you, as the owner operator, can be working on, not in the business. And that should give you some relief. Liability, is it going to be through the roof? Nope. It's about $2 to $3 per day per resident. So with 10 residents, we're talking $900 a month. Definitely something you want, definitely something you need. If you come through our training, we give you connections for liability insurance agents after the class so that you know who to call. And those people have already worked with many of our other students. You can't find good employees. Ooh, these are fighting words, I think. You know, we just talked about the experience that caregivers are getting in the big box facilities versus a residential home, and it's entirely different. But I also just want to say, to me, this isn't always about finding better employees. A lot of times it's about being a better employer. How are you investing in them? How are you pouring into them? If you have a high turnover problem, maybe it's them, but maybe it's you.
Write the message in the chat.
We really train our students to have that attention to detail and to be pouring into their staff so that they don't have to worry about turnover, that their staff is loyal and wants to stay. And we give you tons of examples of how you can do that too. Do you need medical experience? You don't. If you are not going to be working in the home, living in the home, doing the care, you don't need to have that, right? If you do, it's a feather in your cap, and you can definitely use that to market your home. Being able to market it as doctor owned or nurse owned, that's beautiful for you. But you're not working the shifts in the home, so you don't need medical experience. And HOA won't let me do this. Well, good thing we all know the Pinkowski Law Team who works with us at the REL National Association. They have helped many people work through this issue. The reality is an HOA, an angry neighbor, a city, a county, a state can't tell you no. Because of the Federal Fair Housing Act, it's discriminatory against disabled people to say that they cannot have a home in the neighborhood. So if you run into trouble, who are you going to call? Not Ghostbusters. I know it's almost Halloween, but you are going to call the Pikowski Law Team because they're going to help you through that. And that's an amazing connection that you have through being a part of this group. Seniors can't afford this. Well, I'm pretty sure they can when you're targeting the right seniors in the right areas. And we'll go through in a moment how to find them. So what are the 3 smartest options for you to participate in RAL? Well, first, you could own the real estate and lease it to an operator. This is where you can be making your money over and over again. You're a landlord, but in a different way. You've purchased a home, renovated it, got it ready to go for assisted living, and you're going to lease it out to someone who's going to run the business within your home. You could be getting up to twice the fair market rent because you've done the hard work of getting the home up to code and ready to go. Widening hallways and doorways, adding fire suppression. If there needs to be an elevator, you've added that. More bedrooms, bathrooms, whatever the case is, you've done the hard work of getting it ready to go. This is also a long-term tenant for you. You know, we worked with a student who this is the method they're using, and they just got a 12-year contract from their operator. That's amazing. I've seen 3, I've seen 5, I've seen 8, 10, but 12, Vern, unless you have a record breaking above that, I think that's the most I've seen. So this is a long-term tenant. You're not worried about that turnover every year, and that's a beautiful thing for you, a breath of relief. They're also a low impact tenant requiring little or no maintenance. Depending on how you set up the contract, you're not in charge of the maintenance at all. The second way you can get involved is to own the real estate and operate the business. This is what we do and what a lot of our students do, because in this example, you control the business the most and you can make the most money. The third way you can get involved, if you're sitting on the call and you say, I don't want to own the real estate, I don't want to operate the business, I just want to invest in someone who's going to do this. You can be a private lender or JV partner. A lot of people come to our class to do just that. They just want to mix and mingle with other people who are trained by the nation's best on how to do this so that they can partner with them and be that financial partner. Now, how much money can you make? Well, we talked about how we're going to break down how much assisted living costs in your area, but I know on this call there's been people from all over the country the last couple times I've been on, so I wanted to give you this resource, genworth.com/cost of care. This website, when you type in the area where you live, it's going to show what assisted living costs in your area. Little asterisk right here, it is just an average. When you go out into the market and you're talking to care home owners there, it may be very different story. This is giving you averages, which means it includes our friends on government funding as well as those on private pay, and it's bringing us to that middle line number. Now, most of us here, we're going to be charging private pay rates. So many times it'll be above this. But the most expensive places in our country for assisted living, we've got DC at the tippy top with $9,563 on average per month per person. Hawaii's next, Maine, Vermont, Delaware, New Jersey, Alaska, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maryland, rounding us out there with our top 10. So I will say this, live where you want, invest where it makes sense. If the numbers aren't working in your neighborhood, you got to go somewhere else. And the further away you are from it, the less hands-on you will be. 31% of care home owners are remote owners, which means they live an hour or more away from their home. A lot of students come to our training and they live, in Georgia and they're buying a home in Texas, or they live in California and they've got their care home in Nevada. You can do whatever you want. There's nothing stopping you. In Colorado, here we go, is your right now, as of yesterday, your top most expensive place is Fort Collins right there with average rates of $5,433. We've got Pueblo, Greeley, Colorado Springs, Denver, Grand Junction, and then Boulder, which was shocking to me because I thought Boulder was super pricey. So I don't know why this rate is so low, but again, averages. I'm sure Vern is seeing a lot higher than this in all of his homes, but I will say this does not mean if you love mom, you move her to Fort Collins, and if mom didn't love you, you move her to Grand Junction or Boulder, right? If you live in Denver, mom or dad's probably coming to Denver, right? It's where daughter Judy or son Bob, it's where you live, eat, work, sleep, play. So again, these rates are averages. I know our students in Colorado are seeing a lot higher than that. But if you had one REL home providing you an additional $10,000 a month, would you be more confident and secure knowing you could pay your bills easily and stay in control financially? Would you be more comfortable knowing that you could provide a home for your own loved ones if they ever needed assistance? Or would you be more fulfilled knowing that you're actually making a difference in the world and leaving a mark? I want to break down some of the average numbers right here for us. So the average cost in our country, $5,350. So I'm rounding it up since most of the numbers there in Colorado were in that 5,000 range. So we'll call it 5,500 times 10 residents. Depending on where you have the home in the country, you're going to be allowed to have somewhere between 6 and 16 residents in the home, usually, unless you're going into the commercial realm, and then you can go above 16. So in this example with 10, you're bringing in $55,000 every single month. Now, expenses. In our training, we break these down line by line because we do a survey every year of our students all across the country to see what are they paying for insurance? What are they paying for staffing? What are they paying for landscaping and utilities and this and that? And we get all those averages and break it down for you. So I go through it all, but for the sake of whipping through this today, I want us to focus on the two numbers at bottom, 25,000 versus 35,000. 25,000 is if you plan to be the candlestick maker, the cook, and the baker. You're going to live in the home, work in the home, help the seniors yourself, do the grocery shopping, get them out of bed. Not what we do and not what I want to show you how to do. I want to show you how to run it more hands-off, building that team. So you need to be able to afford that team. So we're going to use that higher number right there. Can we get a pretty nice home in most parts of the country for $10,000 a month? More or less. That's leaving us with $10,000 of monthly net income or $120,000 of annual net income on an average 10-bed RAL home. But I got to say this, It is what, 8 p.m. now your time there in Colorado? Pretty sure that none of you are average, because an average person would be sitting watching Netflix. An average person would be, I don't know, not doing this. You're here investing in yourself. You're here taking the time to learn a new skill. You're here doing something above average. I think you do something nicer. Now, a nicer 10-bed home may be charging $6,700 times those same 10 residents with the same expenses, because it's the same 10 residents. It's the debt service that goes up. It's a nicer home. It's in a better part of town. It's a bigger lot. There's more private bedrooms and bathrooms. Whatever the case may be, we put in $12,000 a month right there, leaving you as the owner operator with $20,000 of monthly net income or $240,000 of annual net income. We don't train average. So if you want to learn how to do this nicer, like many of our students are, then this is, that next step for you. Some of you are open to investing outside of Colorado. So if your county in Colorado is limiting you to 8 residents and you're saying, I want to go somewhere else, or you want to apply for a variance or something of that nature and do a luxury 16-bed, maybe charging $7,500. That's a very normal rate. We see it all across the country. Times 16 residents brings in $120,000 every month. Your overhead here does increase because it's not 10, it's 16. So we need to pay for more care, more food, more electricity, more cable, more, you name it. Plus it's luxury. If they want lobster and cheesecake every night, they get it. They want Hulu and HBO, we're throwing in Netflix for free. Whatever they want, they get. And when you're going to a luxury home, debt service easily is going to cost you $20,000 a month on a home that can house 16 residents comfortably. But it leaves you with $40,000 of monthly net income or $480,000 of annual net income. That's pretty good. I mean, I know people who are making $40,000 a year, and we also have students who are making $40,000 a month on one home. That's game changing. That's life changing if you let it be. But in our training, we actually don't just show you how to do this once. We really highly encourage you to scale. Have 3 homes at least within 20 to 40 minutes of each other so that you can share resources, you can share staff, and you can really grow that business to what you want and what you need. If that $10,000 a month wasn't enough for you, 3 of them might be, and you can go above that as well, as many as you want. There's really 4 key ways to get started in this industry. First is to buy an existing business. You're buying the business and the real estate. It's already up and running. You're packaging it together, and Vern can probably help you with that transaction. So you've got the go-to guy right there. But buying an existing business is a great way to get started in this. The second way is buying a single family home and converting it to become an RAL. This is also a great way to get started, depending on how the home already began. If we're buying a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and we're trying to turn it into a 10-10, that's probably not the right home to use. So it's important to have those key prospects on what we're looking for. The third way is buying land and custom building from the ground up. We have so many students who do this across the country. Like he just shouted out in the beginning of the sponsors, Palm University with Brett and Laura Shotkevis. Those are our students, and they're doing an amazing custom build from the ground up. You can watch them. They post it all on YouTube, and it's incredible. I love seeing that happen. The fourth way is leasing a home to use for this, which also you can work with Vern and Jim at A Better Way Funding. That's a great way to do this. You're leasing the home from them and getting up and into the game ASAP. So I want to jump into the 5 keys to success before I give you guys a big discount on our upcoming training. But if we're going to talk about anything involving real estate, we've got to talk about location, because this is the #1 mistake that I see people make in this industry, is that they think, oh, I've got a home and there's a mass amount of seniors who need help. Let's just do it. No, we've got to make sure that there is density, there's demand, and it is the right demographics. You're looking for a majority population of people who are 50 to 70 years old, making twice the median income, college grads, homeowners. We want to be where they live, eat, work, sleep, play. Not because they're the ones moving into the home, because they're the ones moving their loved ones into the home. And they don't want to drive 45 minutes outside of town just because it's cheaper. They want to drive 5 minutes on their way home from work, swing by, say hello. So the closer to them, the better. We talk about the 5 levels in our training, and level 1, I need you to avoid that. If you feel scared to go into this part of town, do not leave Granny there. Okay, she's scared too. No doing this in yucky parts of town. But also, we don't need to go to the most high-end, luxurious part of town where you also might feel uncomfortable because it's guarded gates and staff who works at the home. So I want you to stick in the sweet spot. Financially, that looks like this. Using our national average number of 5,350, homes that are charging less than that, that's a below average home. I want you to be in that sweet spot. And based on your area and what you find the rates are, if your average is 7,000, you need to redo this chart with 7,000 breaking level 2 and 3. I know level 5 looks nice, 8 to 10K per person. Woo, sign me up. But look at the shape of the chart. It gets smaller at the top. Your opportunity zone shrinks. Because if someone can afford that, might they also be able to afford in-home care? Potentially. So you've got to be mindful of that and find out what is that top tier level that you can get to. Donald and Talinda, they came to the training and they said, thank you to the REL Academy. It's been amazing the support we've received from you guys. We wouldn't have been able to make this journey without you. Before they came to the class, we gave them the foundations course. These are videos that get you in the right headset, heart set, mindset. So when you come to class, you are prepared to take action. All the information is not falling on deaf ears. You're ready to soak it up and go forward, just like them opening their 12-bed memory care home out in Kansas. Number 2 is your team. In so many other forms of real estate, man, you can DIY till the day you DIE, right? You can do it all yourself, but not in RAL. RAL is all about team. You are not it. You've got to build this team so that you can repeat and scale and you can sit in that owner's box. Mariella, my amazing manager, she is the one who is working on the homes on a day-to-day basis, hiring, firing, training, onboarding, dealing with all of the staff. If someone calls out, I don't hear about it. How many business owners can say that, right? Most people are in the weeds. I don't want to hear about it. What am I going to do? I'm not a licensed caregiver. She hears about it and she fills the shift with another caregiver, or if she can't find one, does the shift herself. I don't hear about that. That's having the right systems and team in place. Jose and Lillian, they said the best advice, find a mentor and save time. My wife and I became students of Rolla and we used their 10 years of experience to speed up our success. The opportunity is now. They have an amazing care home out in San Antonio. And Jose, they're both ex-military, and Jose is a nurse. And both retired. He's not a nurse anymore, but he still wears his scrubs in his care home. And I love that because he's able to kind of live out that part of his career that he actually loved doing. And being able to market their home as nurse-owned has helped them as well. Number 3 is clients. And we kind of mentioned this earlier, but it really is important when you're creating that target demographic and your business plan for assisted living to know that the resident is not your client. The kids are the key. So who is your client? When we say kids, what does that mean? Well, it's not the senior, it's daughter Judy, it's son Bob, it's the adult child whose loved one is moving into your home. We said earlier, 90% of seniors do not want to move into your home. So if you spend your marketing dollars talking to them, you will be wasting every single dollar that you spent. You know, the assisted living marketing sponsor who was up earlier, I'm sure he'll tell you that too. You've got to be talking to daughter Judy. You've got to be talking her language. What does she want? What does she think? What concerns does she have? And that is who you're marketing to. Ben out in Oklahoma, he said, resources, resources, resources. REL Academy was hugely helpful in getting our home up and running. And one of those key pieces was the resources that they offer, which are second to none. He was a real estate investor before he got involved in this industry, and we showed him how to raise capital for his projects. One of the tools he used was our profitability calculator, which is an amazing tool that you can plug and play with different numbers to see if a deal is good or bad, if you should stay with it or run away from it. So that really helped him become successful in this industry. Carla, she said, I signed up because I wanted to learn from their mistakes. And oh boy, did I. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I love that she said that because in the class, we always say, are you guys okay if we share the bad and the ugly? Because it's important that this isn't being painted as a perfect rainbow, a perfect peach. That's not what this industry is. There's a lot of bad and ugly, and you need to know it all. She said, working with Rala gave me assurance that there is always an answer. Their support has been priceless. Her home's up and running in Georgia now. All right, I said we were going to talk about how seniors afford this, so let's dive in. Don't focus on Medicaid, focus on private pay residents, and make sure you're maximizing LTC insurance. Most of your seniors may be paying with Medicare, they may be subsidized by the VA. 10% of the US population has long-term care insurance, so that's a great way to pay for your care needs. But majority of your seniors are going to be using their cash, their IRAs, their savings, their investments, or selling their physical homes to pay for their care needs. Last but not least, there's our favorite category of seniors that says, I'm going to let the kids figure it out. Listen, failing to prepare means preparing to fail, and this could be a scary situation if you have not had that conversation with your loved ones about who's going to pay for this if and when your time comes. Walt was a legend in the industry when we met him. He'd been in the business for over 15 years. And we asked him, we said, Walt, you need to come to the training and tell us, what are we not sharing? What are we missing out on? And he said, actually, I learned how I was leaving over $15,000 a month on the table, over $2 million during those 15 years. I felt sick to my stomach, but grateful to find out too. So if you are in this industry and you aren't cash flowing the well, or you are super hands-on and you're saying, that's not true for me, that's not what I'm experiencing, maybe coming to the training is that next best step. Maybe that is what you need so that you can learn the things that can help you 10x your business and become passive or hands-off. Number 5 is systems. Saving yourself time, energy, and money. Systems are so critical for success, but specifically, if you are type A, systems are really going to help you along the way. When it comes to real estate, what is the location, acquisition, renovation, the little minor nuances of what other forms of real estate investing are looking for versus what you're looking for in residential assisted living? We've got to narrow those down, and you need a system around it so you know exactly which homes work and which homes don't. And it makes your discovery process a lot faster. Second is team building. You need systems around team building, or else you will have retention problems. You will have high turnover. Identifying, training, and retaining the best of the best staff. I want you to build staff loyalty so that you are not having a revolving door. That is important to have a system around. Funding. Many of you are thinking, this sounds amazing, but how the heck do I fund this? Well, good thing you've got Vern in your corner. And there's so many ways that you can fund your RAL, whether it is through working with a company like a Better Way Funding, using an SBA loan, private money, hard money. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can fund this. But rest assured, you do not have to use your own capital to do this. There are a lot of people getting a whopping 0% on their money. And if you could offer them something enticing, they would take the bait. They would be very excited to invest with you because this is a sexy thing. People are all aging. Everyone's going to need care. And this is an investment that they can feel good about. Does anybody feel good about investing in like papaya or gold or all these weird things that people are investing in these days? I don't know. Investing in seniors that you're helping towards the end of life, that makes you feel good. Partners. This is an industry that you cannot go at alone. There's going to be so many partners that are involved with you in this venture, and knowing who they are, how to build those relationships, and who you need to work with in your local area as well as nationally is going to be key to your success. Operations. These are the documents you need within the home. And when you systemize your policies and procedures, your emergency plans, your menu schedules, it really helps you stay on track and scale a lot faster because it's the same things that you are implementing along the way. Now, Carla Lee, when she came to the training, she said, I took the course in February and I had a business in July. I spoke with many others in my area, and for them, it took years to get their doors open because they didn't have the support I had. She opened 9 homes in less than 3 years, and she was 26 years old when she came to the training. There is nothing stopping you from doing exactly what she did. It's the only difference is what's between your 2 ears. That's what stops people. Scott and Michelle, they said, we credit REL Academy to our success every day. Can you do this on your own? Maybe, but why would you? Rala has everything you need to do this quicker, saving you time and energy. Something I know we gave them when they first came to the training was the roadmap to success, which is a step-by-step plan that shows you exactly what to do to get your care home up. So after the class, okay, This is my first step. Next, next, next. And you can move along quickly just like that. Snawing, one of our incredible students out in Wisconsin, he said, in January, I attended the Rolla course, and in September, I purchased my first 15 bed. About a year later in September, he just opened his second location. He was a travel nurse from the Dominican Republic, and he's also in his 20s, and it's absolutely amazing. He said, attending the 3-day course was one of the best decisions I've ever made. Thank you, Rolla team, for the guidance and support. You know, I can go through success story after success story, but the real question is, will you be the next success story? Today, we got to go through the 5 keys to success, as well as the 3 smartest options for you to participate in RAL. We shared how you could become a preferred real estate provider, playing just on the real estate side, or playing on both the real estate and operations side, cash flowing $10,000, $20,000, or even $40,000 a month. For those of you who want to learn more, you know, and think or are starting to say to yourself, I really could see myself doing this. Like, I want to make that money. I want to be free. I want to get my time back. Do good, do well. That checks out with you. Well, then I want to invite you to come to one of our 3-day fast track trainings. We host them in Phoenix, Arizona, 8 times per year. We have that one coming up in December, as well as one in January. And you're going to leave knowing exactly how to hire the right team for your home, how to avoid the wrong areas and not make mistakes when it comes to location, how to work with the best partners, how to raise money for this deal, and how to protect your assets, which is so important. I'm the lead educator at the training, but everybody else who's there training with me, they're past students just like you. They sat in the class, went out, did it, actually opened homes, they're successful, cash flowing, and now they're back to teach and support you. They share on topics like memory care, RAL demographics. They go step by step through tours and hiring and different tricks and tips of what to say in those interviews so that you know you're getting the right people. They show you how to find, fund, and fill your RAL home, doing sections on the financial suite and syndication. By the end of the 3-day, we're like one big happy family, and all of your questions have been answered, and we have so much fun. There's cocktails and happy hours, and the whole team and I make ourselves available at every lunch, every dinner. We're really there to help you. If you are ready to take the next step, this training, typically $4,997, is only $3,997 for you guys here today. If you'd like to bring a business partner or spouse, it's an additional $1,000. We've got the BBB rule. They must be your partner in bed, blood, or bank account. If you don't know what that means, you can message Vern. But we'd love to have you come out to one of our trainings. And if you're ready to take that next step, you can go to RAL3day.com and use promo code DALLAR, DAALR, to get that big, huge discount. When you go there, don't forget that promo code, because that will help bring it down, and that's going to be super important for you right there. I can put this in the chat too, so it's nice and easy as well. Let me see. And then we'll make that. I'll also read through if there was any chat questions as well. But our upcoming training dates, when you go there, you can select a date that works for you. These are the next 2. And if these 2 don't work for you, we have 8 events in 2025 already booked. So you can just get scheduled for one of them and then give us a call and we'll pick a future date for you. I wanted to shout out, before I was jumping on this, I was thinking about so many of our successful Colorado students. We've got Prestige Living, Peak Gardens, Monarch Greens, Miramont Memory Care, Gardens, Care, you know, Mitch and Jen, who are basically the rock stars of Colorado and partners with Vern on all of their amazing care homes. That's a Rolla success story. There's been so many amazing people who've come through this group who live in Colorado who now own and operate homes. And I'm just so excited to have been a small part of that beginning, you know, part of their journey. So I want to give you guys some take action bonuses, and then I'm here for any questions that you may have. I want to give you guys all, everybody who takes action, the RAL foundations, those videos that we want to send you before class so you can get in the right headset, heart set, mindset, and be prepared to take action. I also want to give you the probability calculator, the one that Ben used to plug in deals and see if they're good or bad, if you should stay with it or run away from it. That tool can help save you a lot of time to determine if something works or not. The roadmap to success is a really important one that really helps you process out exactly what to do so you don't lose your head along the way. And last but not least, a brand new bonus that we just created. the guide to hiring an RAL administrator. I love this guide because hiring is a big fear of a lot of people's, and this not only helps you with the job posting, interview questions, and then training retention. So it's an amazing guide for you right there. All 4 of these bonuses available to you who take action. Is $3,997 worth it if you cash flow 10K a month for the rest of your life? I mean, all day, right? Is it worth it if you now have a place for your loved ones to go if they need care and assistance? All day. So that is available to you. You now know where to go. You know what's left at stake. Our trainings are so much fun, you guys. Genuinely, we really answer every question that you have under the sun. I want you to leave knowing everything you need to do to move forward. So if you're ready to take action, ral3day.com. Don't forget the promo code $. And thanks so much for having me here. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys learned a lot. And if there's anything I can do to support you guys in the future, don't hesitate to reach out. I know I'm in the $. Facebook group, so you can message me, call me anytime. Always happy to help.
Thank you.
Thanks, Isabelle.
You're so welcome.
Do we have any questions for Isabelle? I know that was a lot.
Yes.
All right, well, I have a question.
Tell me.
Okay, you mentioned Medicare as
Yeah.
one of the payment types. I've not seen that. Tell me about that.
I know last time I was on this call, there was a woman who said the same thing, that in Colorado, you guys can't get that. I think it was you, Christy, who you were saying like, you guys can't get it. In other states, you can, and it can help pay for this, but apparently not here in Colorado is what I've been told.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it doesn't cover all of it, but it may cover some of it, but it is helpful to help subsidize the fee.
Right.
But I think, Christy, you had said the same thing last time, that you're like, we can't do that here. I was like, oh, okay, good to know. I got to remove that for next time I chat with you all.
What about the VA?
VA benefits, you can, I believe you can get aid in attendance. Yeah, I think that's in all 50 states.
Interesting. So
It's
if they're
great. Again,
building-
it doesn't cover everything, but it can help subsidize.
Right.
I
Good.
think the qualification is you have to have served in 1 day of active duty, which is why they don't say we are in a time of war very often, even though these men and women are fighting for their lives out there. But it has to be like at least 1 day in active duty, and then you and your spouse can qualify for it. There's companies like Patriot Angels, who will help the seniors fill out all their paperwork and make sure it's good to help get that funding as well.
But 1 active day during time of war, is that what you mean?
1 active day, I think it is during time of war, or one something about active duty or time of war. Yeah, it's some sort of funny qualification, which some of the seniors who are moving in, they qualify, but
Right.
the next generations won't.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I know it's a quiet night here.
Well, that was a lot of stuff and very well presented. Thank you.
Well, good. Well, thank you guys all for being on. I appreciate it. And I think, many of you I have not met, so I'm happy to be connected with you guys and just support you along in your journeys. And those of you who do have care homes, I hope to see you at the Assisted Living Conference. Vern comes every year, and it's always so much fun to have all the care home owner operators, together in one place, hanging out and celebrating all their hard work happening. And we're all here together with the same mission of just helping seniors have better quality care. So take part in that if you're not already involved in that. It's so important, and these seniors, they genuinely need us. So I'm grateful for all of you and all that you guys do every day.
I just had a real quick question. Vern, you said this was recorded, right? So we could come back and re-watch it?
Yes, we'll get this uploaded to the website. And
Okay, I'm here at work, so I've been in and out of rooms and been
gotcha.
catching what I can.
Yeah, it'll be on our website under the events tab, and
Okay.
it probably will be end of the week or first part of next week. We'll get it out.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I want to remind everybody to download the chat so that you can get the information from the people that you met tonight. At the last thing we wrap up with is an open forum. If anybody has any needs, haves, or wants that they would like to express to the group, this is your opportunity. So do we have any needs, haves, or wants from anybody in the group? All right, Christy.
I was like, wait a minute, I was looking for the hand button on the on the Zoom panel. So for those of you that are here in Colorado, we are one of the 40-hour administrator trainers, and we do have an upcoming class here in November, and I'll put that in the chat. Our very first module on the very first day is always our ombudsman program through the Denver Regional Council of Governments. Every state has ombudsman programs, so it's nothing unusual, but a lot of people don't really know what it means to work with their ombudsman. And so I'm offering that first part of our training for a small fee of $25 a person or community to encourage you to come and listen to the ombudsman program. They'll talk about resident rights, talk about sexuality and aging, behaviors, communications, family difficulties, because usually that's the struggle, is dealing with the families. And so it's a 4-hour session, and everyone who attends will get a certificate of completion. And it's really important to know resident rights. And I'm also opening it up to residents of communities, their family members, as well as concerned citizens, or even citizens that are looking down the road into long-term care. So I'll put both of those in the chat. So it's November 12th is the ombudsman presentation from 8:30 to 12:30. And it is going to be in person and virtual, as well as then the 40-hour course is over a 2-week period, the week of the 12th and the week of the 18th. And then there is a competency exam afterwards. So this is a required course. We do spend 20 hours of Colorado regulations in our 40-hour course that is required, and would love to have you guys join. Reach out if you have any questions.
Hey, Christy, would you contact me tomorrow via email? I've got somebody that needs to take your course,
Okay.
and he actually is a nursing home administrator,
Yeah.
but he can't run an assisted living without going through your course.
Yeah, it's still required. Even if you're an RN or a pharmacist, you're still required to take a 40-hour course.
Yeah,
But it's good because you learn the regs, you learn, what's required. So thank you and I'll send you an email tomorrow. And I'll
Okay.
put the other 2 links in the chat.
terrific. Okay, anybody else have, need, or want? All right, it doesn't look like it. So I'm going to give you a little sneak preview of next month. We are going to have Mitch and Jennifer Conrad come in and talk about their story and their how they got from being investors to a portfolio of, gosh, I don't know how many they have now, 300 plus beds.
Yeah.
And about $50 million of property there. And they're going to talk about, how they got there. And it's been, I think, 8 years now they've been doing this. So that should be a very interesting, and I've heard the story before. It's very, very interesting, and, it takes some perseverance, and you'll want to hear that one. So thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Thank you, Isabelle, for sharing what you've done and what you're doing here. And everybody, we will see you all next month. I do leave this open for until everybody's gone. So if you want to stay in network, you can certainly do that. We don't kick you out of the restaurant right away. So we'll see you all next month. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.